Governor Quinn outlines his budget proposal, and almost nothing is safe from the axe.
This year we have looked for savings in a number of areas, and here are just a few examples of a long list of cuts.
Sweeping changes could be in store for your child's school district, and help for the disabled could disappear.
Oh gosh, we just cross our fingers and wonder how bad it's, how bad it's really going to be.
Tonight, what else could change as Illinois tackles one of the biggest state financial crises in the nation?
Taking action for you. This is WMBD 31 News at 6.
Governor Quinn has a list of budget cuts that could devastate thousands of central Illinois residents.
The governor outlined his plan today in Springfield. He says the drastic measures are the only way to put Illinois back on the road to financial stability.
WMBD's Maria Chandler begins our team coverage tonight. Now, Maria, human services could be hit hard.
Bob and Meg, the governor says the state is in so deep, painful cuts are inevitable. Quinn is proposing cutting Medicaid reimbursement rates for hospitals and nursing homes by $550 million. Quinn also stressed the importance of keeping necessary services and programs that work, like home care for the disabled, child care for working families, and nursing home alternatives for Illinois seniors.
Difficult choices we make today will ensure that we are able to provide the essential services to families and businesses across our entire state.
His proposal also outlines eliminating Illinois Cares, which provides state prescription drug help for seniors with and without Medicaid. Bob?
Okay, thanks a lot. Well, some lawmakers don't think the governor is being specific enough. A few are even charging Quinn to go through the budget line by line when making the tough choices.
And there's going to be cuts this year. There's going to be substantial cuts. And, it hurts all of our areas.
All I can do is cut dollars. For me to go in and say in Child and Family Services, you ought to cut this or that, silly, okay? Governor has the possibility. I can say, we're going to cut everything by 10% or whatever. But if you want me to go in line by line and make those decisions, you got to talk to the people doing the job.
Lawmakers say this is just the beginning of a long process to get the state budget balanced. If Medicaid is cut back, it could change everything for a local disabled woman.
As WMBD's Kim Barron shows us, the agency the woman relies on says it might not be able to continue without crucial state dollars.
Laura Walters has a job, friends, and a daily routine thanks to the programs at the Tazewell County Resource Center. But this social butterfly could risk losing her way of life if TCRC can't deal with the potential loss of Medicaid funding.
She'd lose her purpose in life. Every morning she gets up and gets dressed and goes to work like we all do.
TCRC has already made several program cuts, including eliminating social activities for its clients, like baseball games and bowling.
We don't have the money to be able to do the types of activities that they thrive on.
The agency says it doesn't know how it will survive through more cuts, but it's determined to keep going for people like Laura.
We have to find a way to weather this, and we'll continue to do that. I mean, that's the thing. There's kind of a joke. It says if you can run a social service agency in the state of Illinois, you can do anything.
In Tremont, Kim Barron's, WMBD 31 News.
TCRC has lost $500,000 out of its budget over the last 3 years. In fact, TCRC plans its annual budget knowing state funds aren't a sure thing.
Well, one potential cut could leave thousands of people unable to pay for their medications. The state's circuit breaker program helps elderly people pay for prescription drugs. 100,000 people in central Illinois alone applied for it last year. The Central Illinois Agency on Aging says people who receive help make little money and could face tough choices without the program.
It's not a lot of money if you're looking at medications that are going to cost you $1,000 a month, let's just say conservatively. So elimination of the program would be very impactful.
I never want a person to feel there's no hope. So we will work with the best way we can. And with this cut, it will be not too good.
The Central Illinois Agency on Aging says it will try to find another way to help the elderly if circuit breaker is eliminated.
The governor also wants to consolidate some school districts. He says there are too many administrators raking in huge salaries. Right now, there are 868 districts statewide. The governor says consolidating some could save taxpayers $100 million. The The governor is also proposing the elimination of subsidies to the Regional Office of Education, which covers salaries and office costs. He says that could save $14 million a year. There's a plan to reduce state support for regular school bus transportation for students by $95 million. Governor Quinn is also calling for the elimination of legislative scholarships. The recipients of those are selected by lawmakers. And he says more money needs to be put toward the Monetary Assistance Program, which helps needy students get the money they need for college. A new commission is now being formed to study school consolidation. It's unclear which districts might be targeted for consolidation. Normally, taxpayer approval is needed first. Moving forward, education leaders say they have a lot to figure out.
I can just tell you from past experience, usually when a commission is formed, they're usually given about a year to look into an issue like this.
5 Illinois districts are asking voters to approve consolidations in April. 6 others are conducting feasibility studies. At one time, the state had more than 1,100 districts. Well, with the governor's proposed cuts to school transportation, a lot could change for your kids.
WMBD's Twin Cities Bureau Chief Jacob Long is live now as our team coverage continues. Jacob, what specifically could change?
Well, Bob and Meg, the governor is only targeting regular transportation. He is leaving funding for special ed transportation intact. Still, a lot of school districts could lose some money. Field trips for your kids might soon be few and far between.
And that's a sad day when we can't provide enough funds for transporting our kids to and from events.
Districts are legally required to provide transportation for kids who qualify. This includes to and from school, sporting events, and other activities. But now districts are bracing for a big cut to their transportation budgets.
That is going to shift the burden from that fund to somewhere else.
Bloomington District 87 expects to lose $200,000. From McLean County Unit 5, it's closer to $2 million. They can soften the blow in the short term by dipping into other funds.
In the short term, we're okay. We can weather the storm. But long term, that does concern me.
We haven't been paid this year's for our transportation funds. So just getting this year's money and then a cut next year would be fine.
As for what happens in the long term, that's a different story.
It begins to create challenges for other services that you provide.
If transportation funding remains permanently cut, districts will be forced to find other solutions. One option, keeping kids in the classroom more often.
Hopefully this budget that he's proposing will stabilize the state to the point we can get our payments on time.
Now, the state is behind on its transportation payments. Districts feel like if they could get that money, they would then be able to worry about these budget cuts. Bob and Meg.
All right, thanks, Jacob. We want to know what you think about Governor Quinn's budget proposal. You can join the conversation on Twitter. Our Twitter name is @WMBD31News, or you can find us on Facebook. Just search WMBD31News. There are links to both pages at ciproud.com. Well, thanks to Easter Seals, things are happening more quickly for this little boy than his parents thought possible. We'll meet him coming up.